Good night. It's December 11, 2025. And it's a Thursday. This is my second attempt at making this video. I ran out of space on my phone. And I wanted to make it brief, and I was rambling on about breakcore, which I'll get to. Here in Joburg, it is currently -9 degrees Celsius, 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Although, with the wind, it allegedly feels much chillier. It's got a real feel registered trademark of -20 degrees Celsius, -3 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a west by southwest wind of 22 kilometers an hour, 14 miles an hour, with wind gusts of 35 kilometers an hour, 22 miles per hour. I have not been out since I got home from work. I got a ride home from my friend. This morning was a great day. This whole day was great. A great day at work. This morning, there was an inauguration of a piece of public art that was, it was put up before. It was visible before because it's public art and it's outside. But it's this photo manipulation. It's like a mixture of 3 photographs, and it was put up on the side of the theater, of a theater where I work pretty often. And so I had no idea we were doing that this morning, but there was like a little event for the inauguration. Went very well. Excuse me, I did the lighting. Well, the lighting operation, everything was like focused, but like there was like a little sound piece, and there was some lighting cues. Anyway, it was fun. I got to work with my friends. I also got to have lunch with some colleagues of mine who work more on the like administrative side of this theater, who I'd seen around but never really like spent any time with that much or talked to, and it was really nice, and they were all really cool. I felt really good. So yeah, it was great. I got to work with my friends. I got to see some other friends. And I met the mayor. Didn't vote for her, but she was nice. Nice lady. And then during the afternoon, a friend of mine, who is also a coworker, set up the lighting for an event on Saturday. And he gave me a ride home. Yeah, I want to go to bed pretty early. I want to do some dishes and then play a video game that said friend talked to me about. He hasn't played, but he'd heard about it. Called Iron Lung, a horror game. I'm usually, I have difficulty with horror games. I find them very scary. Horror movies, not so much, but horror video games, they give me the willies and make me feel very scared. Today, I'm thinking about drum corps. I was thinking about a Plaid song, and then I listened to it again, and I'm like, I don't really feel like talking about this song. And then for some reason, it just popped in my head, like, what is Aaron Spector up to? Because there was, anyway, an Aaron Spector EP with a lot of, like, chiptune influence that was really good. But then I saw on his Discogs page that he put out an album as a drum corps, which the most recent one before that was back in 2015. And he put out some EPs as drum corps, but like a full-length album. So I was like, I gotta hear this. And I haven't listened to the whole thing. I listened to a few songs, and it is great. So, I've definitely complained about the term breakcore on this channel, and it's me being a curmudgeon and not accepting that vocabulary evolves. However, what I see referred to as breakcore today in my mind is not breakcore. It is atmospheric drum and bass, which is totally fine, but it misses, aside from having break beats, it doesn't really have much in common with breakcore, which is an established genre, although a pretty wide breadth of sounds that were sort of boxed in with the term breakcore, but there's still some elements. It needs to be fast, generally. Have complex drum patterns, but like more specifically like intricately chopped up break beats, or at least drum sounds within those breakbeat rhythms. It's often abrasive, and what's considered to be breakcore by the youth today does not have any of those elements, except for breakbeats, but they're often relatively simplistic, which is not a bad thing, and don't, even like move around that much, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, pretty static, repeating loop, right? Breakcore, it just constant, erratic changes in the drum patterns. But like I mentioned before, there's like a lot of different sound palettes and fusions of different styles within breakcore. I'd say most notably and most beautifully, classical music and breakcore. Venetian Snares had a couple albums. My Downfall original soundtrack, and the better of the two, I think, Ross Chilag, whatever. It's in Czech. I might be wrong. I think it's in Czech or Romanian. I just don't want to like. I think it's Hungarian, so neither one. I'm sorry to those three countries. But there were a few artists that incorporated a fusion of breakcore and metal. So I'd say most famously Igor, although he has been moving away from the breakcore sound. I mean, his latest record, I think, has a song called Breakbeat. So there still are breakbeats and electronic elements, but he's definitely moved more into like an organic metal sound. There's also Bongra, Rumi My Dear, who has collaborated with Igor on several occasions, and at least like recently, his past like couple, 3 full-length albums definitely share a lot of DNA with the non or less metal aspects of Igor's music. But anyway, one of the OGs for that is Drumcore, who has been making this style of music. That's Aaron Spector, who has released stuff under his own name and other aliases as well, in different styles, but usually at least breakcore adjacent. But Drumcore is the breakcore metal fusion project. It's been around since like at least 20 years. And it's great. And this song that I'm going to talk about is The Place with the Trees off of the album. I just want to get that correct name. The new album's called For Everything. And I haven't heard the whole thing. I've only heard a few songs, but it's fantastic if you like this kind of stuff. It is a fusion of breakcore, crust punk, and noise. Some tracks like this one. Here's some noise throughout. It's great. I don't really think I need to describe it that much. You just need to listen to it and see if you like it. I don't know much about crust punk. I'm saying it's crust punk because that's what it says in the Bandcamp description. Then I went to the Wikipedia page. Crust punk seems to be a mixture of like hardcore with like more melodic elements and then some other elements of other extreme metal genres. Sounds like a mixture of hardcore with melodic stuff, maybe a little bit more emo, and then some like black metal influence for like the melodic guitars, but also like some things are heavy, more like hardcore. So I don't know much about the genre, but it seems like the metal and punk aspects are cross influenced. But the way that it's sort of not necessarily deconstructed, but like how certain elements are replaced with elements of a different genre. Like there's some tracks where like it just sounds like, what was the track? And the song that I really liked as well, Bees in a Can. So like Bees in a Can, the guitar just sounds like black metal guitar, but maybe that type of guitar riff exists in crosspunk. I don't know. I'm just speaking out of my own ignorance of crosspunk, which is a genre that has been around for longer than I've been alive. So there's a lot of history there. Check it out. It's chaotic, but at the same time, it's like odd. Like this guy's been doing this for a very long time, and the chaotic elements themselves are tightly controlled and like intricately manipulated, but it's sort of a jarring mix, especially like how he uses the same sort of like effects on his voice that he uses on the drums, right? You know, just like having like quick repetitions of a drum sound, so it sounds sort of glitchy, but then like pitching down or pitching up, and then like having an envelope on the amplitude as well, if that makes any sense. I don't know. But doing that on his voice as well, which is an effect that he's done a lot, and I think sounds really cool. It's just really fun, and it sounds great, and it's unique, and it's not for everyone, but check it out. Song's not long. Excuse me, the worst that will happen is you'll be disappointed in like less than 2.5 minutes of your life, and then you'll get over it. I need to leave. I would like to play a bit of this video game before I go to bed. So, later tonight, it's probably going to get colder. Not really, actually. It's going to snow a bit. Starting at 10 o'clock. Negative 11 degrees Celsius, 13 degrees Fahrenheit. I almost forgot to talk about the sunrise and sunset, but it's going to leave us off at negative 11 degrees Celsius, 13 degrees Fahrenheit. Same thing. So it's going to stay static. But almost forgot to mention that the sun this morning rose at 7:17 a.m. and it set at 4:04 p.m. I believe is the fourth day, at least the third, if not the fourth day in a row, the sun set at 4:04 p.m. However, don't let yourself be seduced by that constant hour and minute for the sunset, because that's 8 hours and 47 minutes of sunlight. It is objectively still getting shorter. The days are getting shorter. We're not out of the woods yet. Anyway, I'm going to go and do a bit of dishes and then play some video games. Everyone, have a good night.